I'm Dr. Lynette Long. I'm chair of the Miami Beach Commission for Women and also on the Miami-Dade Commission for Women and president of Equal Visibility Everywhere. The reason I'm here today is I am the person who originally wrote the marker application, and I am also the financial sponsor of the marker so that it will cost the city of Fort Lauderdale $0.
Thank you.
So I wanted to tell you a little bit of background of the marker. In 2017, I sat down at my desk on a rainy Sunday and I counted every single marker in the state of Florida. There were 950. Only 6 were of women. So I wrote an op-ed for the Tallahassee Gazette, thinking I'd get a little attention. And immediately, the head of the Division of Historical Resources for the whole state of Florida called me up. I don't know how he got my phone number, but I guess if you're important in some ways, you can get everybody's phone number. And he said, Lynette, this is a problem. And I said, I agree. And he said, well, there is also not one single marker for LGBTQ person in the whole state. So I said, okay, I can fix this problem myself. So I made a list of women that I wanted to apply for. A half a dozen elite women that are very famous throughout the southeastern Florida, because I live in Miami. And I applied for Barbara Bayer Capitman, who saved the Art Deco district. I applied for Amelia Earhart, who took her last flight from Miami. I applied for Betty Mae Tiger Jumper, the chief of the Seminoles, only woman. I applied with the Everglades Foundation for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. And so I applied for all these women, and in my elite group, and of course I forgot.
Diana Nyad.
Wait, before her, Julia Tuttle, the founder of Miami, who convinced Henry Flagler to bring his railroad to Miami by giving up half her land. So I decided to put in this elite group Diana Nyad. Now, all the rest of these women have their markers installed. You can go see them everywhere. But Diana Nyad doesn't. I selected her because she's world famous. Her swim was remarkable, and she's a television and sports commentator. And she had a few records that are in the marker. Only 4 of the records are in the marker content. And I want to tell you a little about the process. You have to first fill out this long application. There is a director of the marker program. That person has to approve you to go on. There's a marker council made up of an architect, an archaeologist, and a historian, all very well known in Florida. And they actually approve the final writing of the marker, not me. And they verified everything, but so did I. And there are only 4 records in the marker, 4 records that are undisputable. Her swim in Lake Ontario, which is in the Buffalo paper. Also is her swim from Bimini to Jupiter Beach, undisputable. Long distance swim at the time. Her swim around Manhattan Island, which she beat the world record by about an hour. And of course, her famous swim from Cuba to Key West. Now me, being a girl that doesn't take anything for granted, like to cause trouble, and I like to have my facts, I have a master's in math, so I like to have my facts lined up. I drove to Key West. I met with people who were on the team. I met with people who were on the boat and watched the swim. I met with the head of Art and Public Places, the mayor. I met with everybody in Fort Lauderdale. No one doubted the veracity of the swim. No one. I met with people who were standing on the shore when it happened. And I can't imagine that we are not honoring Diana Nyad, Fort Lauderdale favorite who walked to the beach. And you know how I know? Because I had the privilege of spending a day with her and driving her around Fort Lauderdale. I stopped at her home, and I took a picture of her standing on the porch, which is in the aisles right near Las Olas. as a child. I went to Las Olas Beach. We went to Pinecrest School. All things that are synonymous with Fort Lauderdale. This is an incredible woman. I trust the veracity of her swim. They've been validated by the state of Florida. They're ready to order the marker. I'm ready to write the check. All you have to do is approve it. I'm excited to see it happen today. I have full confidence in this commission.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Eleanor?